the main portion of the program is going to be done in the display buttons click event. The first thing we want to do is define some variables. 2 strings, one to hold the original password, one to hold new password. And the third variable is an integer that will be used in our for next loop. Next thing we want to do is assign the value from the text box, whatever the user types in the text box, to the original password variable. Next, using an if statement, we're going to verify first that the password contains either 5, 6, or 7 characters. So with our if statement, if the original password .length, the length property of the variable, is greater than or equal to 5, greater than or equal to 5, and also original password .length less than or equal to 7. Note that you have to have a complete expression. Origin password .length greater than or equal to 5, that's the expression. You need to have that on both sides of the and also. So origin password .length less than or equal to 7. If this is true, then let's replace all the vowels using the replace method of the variable, the string variable. So we're going to assign to origin password, whatever's in origin password, replace. Now the replace method requires 2 arguments. If the capital A exists, then replace it with a capital or uppercase X. Now note that because we changed the character casing property of the text box to uppercase, we don't have to concern ourselves with the lowercase vowels. If we didn't set that uppercase property, that character casing property to upper, then we would simply have to do this for all uppercase vowels and all lowercase vowels. We're going to do the same thing to replace all the numbers with a Z, except the 2 arguments are going to be the characters 0 replaced with Z, and then 1 through 9. So fairly simple task of replacing characters in a string with the replace method. Remember, this is used with string variables. Now let's use a for next loop to reverse the characters in the password. That index num variable is going to be set to whatever is the length of the original password. So our for next loop is going to be for whatever the length is minus 1 down to 0. And the reason we have to do the minus 1 down to 0 is because the length of the password, let's say it is 6, ABC123, the length is 6. But what we're going to do is change our characters based on their index value. Remember, the indexes start with 0. So the index value of the characters in the string are going to be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 for a 6-character string. So the for clause in our for next loop will be for index num equals origin password .length minus 1 to 0, and our step value is a -1. The -1 means we're going to count backwards. So again, if our original length is 6, we're going to start at 5 and go to 0, stepping backwards. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. The body of our loop is where we're going to set or assign the new password variable. The new password variable will be set to whatever's in new password. The ampersand symbol is the concatenation operator for Visual Basic. So whatever's in new password, initially it's nothing, and it's going to be set to origin password substring index num. The first time through, the index num will be 5 for a 6-character password for a length of 1. So it will take the absolute last character and assign it to the new password variable. Then our for next loop increments to the next index num value. So the next index num value would be length minus 1, step 1 again. So it was a 5, now it's going to be a 4. So the new password is going to take whatever is currently in new password plus the substring of 4 for length of 1. So again, if our password was ABC123, The first time through, it's going to take the 3 and assign it here. The second time through, it's going to take the 3 and, because of this, the 2 and assign it here. Alright, so we're going to do that for the length of the password. It's going to iterate through this for next loop throughout the length of the password, stepping backwards until you get to 0. And that's how the characters in the password are put in reverse order. Next, we display the new password. That's simply an assignment statement for the label. The new password label.text is assigned whatever's in new password. Remember, this is a string variable, or string property, string data type, and this is a string variable, so there's no conversion needed. We're passing a string to a string. Remember, we started this in the if with an if statement. So if the password is between 5 and 7 characters, 5, 6, or 7 characters, then you do these things. If it's not, set the new password label.text to clear. Make sure we clear it out so nothing's put in there. And then let's pop up a message box and tell the user to please enter 5, 6, or 7 characters. Remember, the message box.show method requires 4 arguments. The first argument being the actual message, the second argument being the title of the text box, the third argument is the buttons, and the fourth argument is the icon. Last thing we're going to do here is put the focus back in the original password text box, so the user could enter another password if they'd like to. Let's do a quick test run. I'm going to put in the password ABC123, display, and it works. I'm going to check the escape character, the cancel button property of the form, by pressing the escape key, and the program exited. And that's it.